Lightspeed Spanish, podcast number 13 for absolute beginners, and today we're dealing with masculine and feminine.
We're dealing with.
You like that, do you?
Sounds like a problem. We're dealing with
and managing and overcoming. Vamos a superar. Bueno, tú, ¿qué tal?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
También estoy fantásticamente. Perdóname. Okay, Cynthia.
Dime, Gordon.
Masculino, femenino. Okay, masculine and feminine. Now, for anyone who's an English speaker, we don't have that issue. And many of my students have said to me, why? Why do they do that? And my answer to them is...
why not?
Why not, yeah. Well, it's like asking, I mean, it's a redundant question. That is, and you just have to accept it and find a way of coping with it. And unfortunately, there are some great ways of coping with masculine and feminine in Spanish. And for anyone who's done French, there's no rhyme, no reason to it, although I'm sure there is, but there doesn't appear to be much rhyme or reason. There is a great way of knowing what's masculine and feminine in Spanish, yeah? So the first thing, masculine words, 95% of them, Cynthia, finish with...
Okay, not words, nouns.
Nouns, yeah.
Not words, nouns.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my head I had the word noun, and I said word. There you are. So,
I don't
Spanish nouns, whether you believe it or not,
which are naming words.
Naming words end with...
masculine.
Masculine?
They usually end with an O.
Okay.
Not always.
And that's why I say 95%. And 95% of feminine nouns in Spanish, naming words, end with A. So, O words, because masculine, men, they kind of talk like that, don't they? O. And women, feminine, they tend to go, yeah. At least that's how I used to remember it. Now, so 95% of them, however, there are some words, some nouns that don't follow that pattern. Yeah. Now I believe that you've got a couple of ways of knowing how to put a gender to a word.
Yes, one of my students once told me that words that finished with dionza, which is D-I-O-N, Z and A, tend to be feminine.
Okay. So
in most cases, but not in all cases.
What examples of that might be? I'm thinking of the word.
For example,
pared.
Pared, which is wall, finishes with a D, is feminine. It's la pared.
Yeah.
With ion, lots of words that finish with ion. For example, la habitación, the room.
La estación.
La estación.
Yeah.
So those are feminine, tend to be.
Okay, this is not every single time. No. There are always exceptions.
There are exceptions like avión, plane,
or
camión, which is el. Z. For example, I can't think of a word that finishes with a Z.
No, can I? I was hoping you could think of one, because
I was thinking of one, but it's masculine. I was thinking of pez, fish, but pez is el pez.
Yeah. Paz. La paz.
La paz.
Yeah.
Peace. Or una coz. Coz? What's coz? You know when horses or donkeys kick the back legs? It's a
kick.
Right, moving on. And A, obviously.
Yeah. Alright,
so dionza.
Dionza with a Z, yeah. So more or less. Certainly I-O-N and words that end with D. Yeah, and words that end with A. Nouns that end with A. And then for the masculine ones, because there are some masculine ones that don't have O in the end. Yeah.
So for the masculine it's lones. So words that finish with L, words that finish with O, with N, E, R and S. They tend to be masculine.
Okay. So el.
Like el sol, The sun.
Sol. En.
For example,
Sillón.
sillón.
El sillón.
Okay.
The living room chair, armchair.
O el cajón.
And then are. Bueno, all verbs tend to be the masculine, aren't they? El hablar.
El par.
El par.
The pair.
Yeah.
Or the couple. And with S.
S.
Let me think. El tres.
Tres.
The number 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Or el. I can't think of one now.
So, now the only issue with these kind of systems
El
that
mes.
I find, el mes, yeah, there you are. The issue with systems like this, where you've got kind of this acronym, is that what they're called? An acronym? Acronym, and you've got that helps you remember. When you're thinking on your feet, when you're chatting in Spanish, you haven't got time to be thinking. Just a moment, this word's going to end with D. I'll just check, is that Dion? Dion said that's feminine, so I'm going to say la pared, okay? By that time, the person you're speaking to has either lost the will to live, or they've moved on.
Or died.
Or died. Or they're having a shave. Okay. So, be aware of the masculine and feminine. But, don't get too hung up about it. The key thing about your Spanish is getting flow. Okay? You don't need to worry so much about getting the gender wrong. If you get the gender wrong and you're talking to a Spanish person, in their mind they'll put it right. Or they'll help you and they'll correct you. Okay? And those corrections, just take them as feedback. That's all. It's not criticism. It's very difficult to say a sentence and get all of the gender right. Okay? So it isn't something you need to worry about. But once you're aware of it, then it becomes easier and easier. Yeah? So should we make some sentences up?
Why not?
Yeah. Okay then. So, what about, for example...
Give me a simple one and then we can add to it.
All right.
And we can change the noun.
So, let's say the red wall.
Okay. So we've got the word wall, which we know is feminine now, which is
pared.
Pared. La pared. What was it?
The red wall.
Red wall. Right, so la pared is feminine, and as we said in the previous podcast, everything has to match. Pared, feminine. So the article, we have to choose between el, la, los, or las. In this case, we choose la, which is feminine, singular. La pared. And now the adjective, which the color is rojo. Now rojo doesn't match pared, because pared is feminine, and rojo has to be feminine, if we can. So, rojo would be roja. La pared roja.
Okay. So everything agrees. La pared, obviously, the pared doesn't end with a, but it's still a feminine word, so everything is feminine. What if we were then going to add something and say the high red wall?
Okay, so then we've got two adjectives. They still have to match when they can, the noun. So we've got la pared, alta y roja.
Now I've noticed that in English I can say the high red wall, but you're adding an and. What's that about?
Yes, when we have a list of adjectives, we tend to put and before the last one.
Okay.
So if you've got 3, you would say, don't know, because in English you have an order as well.
The wall, high, red, and old.
Exactly.
Yeah? Okay. So what about that? The wall, high, the high, red, old wall.
La pared, alta, roja y vieja.
Okay.
And we have no order, as I said
Yeah.
before. It could be roja, vieja y alta, alta, roja y vieja.
Okay.
There's no...
And I'm conscious that the sentence I said before didn't sound to me right in English. I can't remember what I said, but I think it would be something like we'd have to say the old high red wall. I don't think it. I think the high old red wall sounds a bit weird. I don't know.
It's so easy in Spanish.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, so there we are. You've got some. You know how to identify a noun, whether it's masculine or feminine. Probably 99% of the time you're going to be right using the OA system and the answer and the lowness.
But I will explain everything in detail in the help sheets, okay. And I'll give you some exercises and I'll put some sentences with masculine, feminine, with plural nouns.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, our time's up, we have to go.
Oh.
Tenemos que irnos. Entonces, hasta luego.
Adiós.
Adiós.